Hi everyone. Wanted to do a quick example that would actually support the power of SUMPRODUCT when you're dealing with trying to find average spend or any kind of multiplication when you have to add it. It's a very complex formula or function for arrays. It's great. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually take a look at this chart here. We got this table here. We got Q1 ad spends, the number of campaigns, the spend per campaign. So for example, for the Google ad, I have 3 campaigns in Q1, and each of them was approximately $256.94. That's an average. And then the gross from that, the total gross from that. So we're going to focus on the spend right now. So what we want to do for this one is going to do a regular average. So if in this case we wanted to take a look and say, okay, what is the average spend per campaign? We could easily, or we could simply go equals average if, oops, excuse me, and we're going to go with a column, lock that in with F4, criteria, we want all the Google ad spends, and actually we're going to lock this in because we're going to be taking a look at the rest of them. So we're going to be locking in the column but not the row. So we're going to go 3 times, and then we're going to go spend. I'm just going to lock that one in just for consistency. Okay, let's take a look at what we have here. So we have $91.74 for the Google ad campaigns, and when we actually bring it down a little bit more, we see that Pinterest is $41 and the highest one is Facebook. But when you take a look at it, it's not exactly accurate. But because what we're seeing here is that this is the spend per campaign, but we have 3 different campaigns for Google, and then 9 for Pinterest, and then 6 for Twitter, and so on. So what we're going to do is we're going to do something with SUMPRODUCT that is more like a weighted average. And I'll show you a little bit more about that at the end. But the SUMPRODUCT function allows us to just quickly take a look at the Google campaigns and the averages and the number of and the averages of the spend based on those campaigns in one quick formula. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and do SUMPRODUCT. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to that first column, lock it in, it's F4, and the criteria for this first column is going to make sure it equals F9. Now in this case, remember, F9, we're going to make sure that we lock the column but not the row. Okay. Next, we're going to multiply the number of campaigns, lock that in as well, times the average spend, oops, great, lock that in for consistency. And we're going to see a very large number because we're not done yet. So now that we have this number here that says that, you know, this is the SUMPRODUCT for Google, what we're going to do is we're going to do a little sum if to make it a proper average. So we're going to do a sum if. Now if you have never used sum if or you need a refresher, of course remember that up here we have the F1 formula. We can just click on that and we can see the criteria and what we need. So in this case, we're going to do the sum of all the Google campaigns. So in this case, we're going to go first column. Okay. Lock that in F4. And with the criteria in this case, we're going to be looking at Google, so we're going to lock that in again. And we want to make sure that we actually sum the number of campaigns that Google has. And lock that in. So now what we're looking at here is the sum product of the Google ads, the number of Google ads times the spend, and then we're going to actually divide by the total number of ads, and this is going to be the weighted average for those Google ads. And you're going to see something very interesting if you don't see it already. Okay, let's go ahead, and here's what we see. The Google ad spend is actually much lower than the regular ad spend. And when we actually bring it back down, you see that Twitter is the one that has the heftier ad spend. So that's actually what is considered a weighted average using the sum product. Now the reason why we're having that is, let's take a look at something very quickly. Equals, let's see, we're going to do a total of all the Google. We're just going to basically take the bottom part of that formula. Actually, this makes it a lot easier. Take the bottom part of this formula. Oops. Just go equals. And it goes a little bit lower. So what you see here is that Google has 60 ads, 43. Facebook has fewer ads. Bing has 25. So you have all these different ads. So this ad spend number properly reflects the number of ads that Google has in comparison with, say, the 60 Google has in comparison to, say, the 18 of Facebook. So that'll give you an idea of how to work with some product when you're trying to do a weighted average. And you're trying to get something more accurate than just doing a regular average if. There are plenty of ways that you can do this, but this is just one, and this is a pretty complex one. This is actually one of the funner ways and the more powerful ways to get that working. So, hope you found this useful. Have a good evening.